still remember the way the light fell across our bedroom that morning, soft, golden, like the universe was in on the fact that life was good. She was sitting cross-legged on the bed, tossing clothes into an open suitcase while I handed her the ones she'd definitely need for Vegas. Her friends had been planning this bachelorette weekend for months. I wasn't worried, why would I be? We joked as she'd packed about how she'd probably come back broke from slot machines, or how she'd survive off nothing but room service fries and vodka cranberries. She laughed so hard at one of my terrible jokes that she dropped a pair of heels into the suitcase like it was the punchline. Helping her pack felt normal, domestic even. The kind of thing couples in love do without thinking about it. And back then I trusted her completely. As I folded one of her dresses, my mind wandered back to our early days, the nights we'd stay in with takeout, talking about everything, where we wanted to live, the kind of life we wanted, our dumb little quirks that we pretended were charming. I remember thinking, this is it. This is the person I'm going to grow old with. I slipped a snack into the corner of her bag, a silly habit I'd picked up on our first trip together. She spotted it immediately. "Travel snacks? You're too much," she said, grinning as she zipped the suitcase shut. If only I'd known that zipper was the sound of a door closing on the life. I thought we were building. It started small, like a hairline fracture in glass, barely visible. But once you notice it, you can't stop staring. A couple of nights before her trip, we were out with her friends. They were loud, buzzing with pre-Vegas energy, tossing around phrases like "no rules weekend" and "time to cut loose." Smiled, played along, but then one of them, I think it was Jenna, looked at me and said, "You're not going, right? You'd just kill the vibe." The table erupted in laughter, including her. She sipped her drink, glanced at me and said, "Babe, you're just too serious sometimes. It's too serious." I laughed it off in the moment because what else do you do when you're sitting in a crowded bar and everyone's watching? But inside, that phrase stuck to me like gum on a shoe. What did she mean? Serious as in boring? Serious as in one who would notice things I wasn't supposed to notice? Later that night, lying in bed, replayed the moment in my head, her laughing, her friends smirking. The way she changed the subject right after, it was probably nothing. But it didn't feel like nothing. That's the thing about cracks. They don't just disappear, they spread, slowly, quietly, until the whole thing shatters. The first night she was gone, she sent me a selfie from the hotel room, hair curled. Makeup perfect, that big smile I knew so well, about to head out with the girls. "Ah," she wrote. I told her to have fun, and I meant it. But then, the replies got shorter. The next morning I texted, "How was your night?" Her answer, "Crazy lol. No details." Oh, follow-up question, just crazy lol. Calls stopped. 2. Normally, we'd talk before bed, even if just for a minute. But now, I'd stare at my phone, the little clock in the corner ticking past midnight, the screen staying dark. I checked her social media photos started popping up, but something was off. Group shots with her friends. She was always on the edge, half cropped out. Videos from crowded bars. But she was just a flash in the background before the camera panned away. Almost like she didn't want to be seen. The apartment felt too quiet. The fridge hummed. The clock in the kitchen clicked each second like it was keeping count of the distance. Growing between us, I lay in bed, my side cold, staring at the empty space where she should have been. And for the first time, I had this feeling, a heaviness in my chest I couldn't shake. I told myself I was overthinking, that she was just busy, that it was Vegas, loud, chaotic, distracting. But deep down, I knew this was more than just a busy night out. It was a little after 7 p.m. when my phone buzzed. Not her, a mutual friend, someone I hadn't talked to in months. The message was short. "You should see this." There was an image attached, grainy. Probably taken from across a crowded Vegas bar, but clear enough. Her hair pulled back this time, that same laugh I'd seen 100 times. Only she wasn't laughing with her bridesmaids. She was wrapped around some guy I'd never seen before. For a moment, I couldn't even process it. It didn't fit, like my brain was trying to jam the wrong puzzle piece into place. I told myself maybe it was just a weird angle. Maybe it was innocent. Then my friend sent another picture. Different guy. Different night. I could tell from her outfit. And before I could even form a reply, a third photo. Third guy. All within the same weekend. My chest felt like it was collapsing inward. Not anger. Not yet. Just this hollow pressure. Like the air had been punched out of me. I didn't even realize I was gripping my phone so tightly until my hands started to ache. I sat there in my apartment, the faint hum of the fridge in the background, staring at those photos like maybe they'd rearrange themselves into something that made sense if I just looked long enough, but they didn't. They just sat there. Proof that the person I thought I knew didn't exist anymore. I didn't even think about what I was going to say. My fingers just dialed her number, muscle memory guiding me through the motion. She picked up on the third ring. No hey, babe. No surprise in her voice. Just a flat, almost annoyed. What? I asked her about the photos. I kept my voice calm to calm. Because if I didn't, I knew I'd start shaking. There was this pause. Not long enough for denial. But long enough to confirm everything. Then she laughed. Not the laugh I used. To love the one that felt like sunlight. This was sharp, cold, like she was amused I'd even asked. You're overreacting.
Right.
We were just having fun. You're so boring sometimes. Her words landed like glass shattering in slow motion. She didn't stop there. I need someone more exciting. Someone who knows how to live. For a second, I thought I'd misheard. Her. But the hollow echo of her voice through the phone's tiny speaker made every word ring clear. Like they'd been burned into me. I stared at the phone screen. Her contact photos still smiling up at me. The version of her I thought I knew. And as she kept talking, all I could think was, how quickly someone can take a knife to the life you've built together and not even flinch. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. Die. Just ended the call. Because the truth had a way of making noise pointless. When the line went dead, the apartment felt impossibly still. No traffic outside. No ticking clock. Just the kind of silence that makes you hear your own breathing. I sat there for a moment, staring at the black phone screen. Her name was gone. So was the version of my life I thought I was walking into. The wedding wasn't postponed. It wasn't on hold. It was over. Just like that. I didn't cry. Didn't throw anything? I just slipped the engagement ring from my pocket. I'd been carrying it around earlier that week, thinking about how I'd surprise her when she got home now. It sat on the kitchen table, cold, lifeless. A reminder, not a promise. If boring means faithful, I thought, I'll take boring every time, 'cause boring never lied to me. Boring. Never turned a vow into a punchline. I drafted the text. 5 words. Simple. Final. It's over. Don't come back. My finger hovered over send, and in that stillness, I realized I wasn't losing anything worth keeping. It didn't take long for the news to get out. One person hears, tells another, and before you know it, your phone's lighting. Up like it's Christmas morning, except every gift is just another version of "Are you okay?" Some messages came with genuine shock. Others, not so much. A few friends admitted they had a feeling, but didn't want to say anything, apparently. Those girls' nights that ended at 3 a.m. weren't always just karaoke and cocktails. Looking back, the signs were there. The way she'd lean in a little too close when she talked to certain guys. The whispered private jokes I wasn't a part of. The sudden phone face down on the table when I walked into the room. At the time, I told myself it was nothing, that I was being paranoid, but now those moments played in my head like a highlight reel I never asked for. I could see it so clearly, the pieces snapping together into a picture I wish I didn't recognize. It's funny, the truth doesn't just hurt. It rearranges your memories. What you thought were happy moments suddenly feel like scenes from a con you didn't know you were in. And yet, with every ping of my phone, I felt lighter. Because this wasn't my mess anymore, it was hers. I thought I'd heard it all. But the real story, the full story, didn't reach me until days later. It wasn't just a drunken mistake. It wasn't even just one guy. It was three. Three. Different men. 3 different nights. And here's the part that really made my stomach twist. She bragged about it, laughed about it with her friends, called it her victory lap before marriage, like it was some kind of joke, like I wasn't even a person. Each detail felt like another punch I didn't see coming. One night in a casino suite with some high roller she met at a blackjack table, another at a club, the DJ she'd accidentally run into in the VIP section. The last. I couldn't even finish hearing about without feeling sick. The worst part wasn't the cheating. It was realizing she'd planned it, that while I was here, trusting her completely, she was in Vegas ticking names off a list. I could almost hear the slot machines in the background of the stories, the overlapping voices, the neon lights flickering. Vegas was chaos. But her choices? They were deliberate. It's strange how the end of something can feel like the beginning of everything else. The first morning after I called it off, I woke up to quiet. Not the heavy, suffocating quiet I'd felt while she was in Vegas. The kind that feels like fresh air, like space. I started small, lacing up my running shoes and hitting the pavement before sunrise, grabbing coffee with friends I hadn't seen in months, people I'd slowly drifted from while bending my life around hers, dusting off hobbies I'd shelved because we didn't have time. Turns out I had plenty of time. I just wasn't using it on me. The more I focused on myself, the lighter I felt. The gym became therapy. Late-night laughter with friends replaced the arguments. I was smiling again, and this time, it wasn't something I had to fake for the sake of peace. Funny how losing someone can feel like getting yourself back. Months passed. The sharp edges of the hurt had worn down to smooth indifference. One evening, I was walking home, the city glowing with that golden hour light. That's when I saw her, hand in hand with someone new. She caught my eye for half a second, and then looked right past me like I was just another face in the crowd. And you. Know what? I felt nothing. No rush of anger, no pang of longing, not even curiosity. Just peace. I kept walking, the sun dipping lower behind the buildings, a reflection stretching long across the pavement. Sometimes the best revenge isn't proving them wrong, it's living like they never mattered at all.